No black hats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Oh, it's UFC Abu Dhabi. UFC Abu Dhabi. I can't wait. UFC Abu Dhabi. Reinier taking on Robert Whittaker. Lots of other great fights on this card too. We got Bryce Mitchell. We got Peter Yan. One of the best things about this card, it starts at noon. Now, I love a daytime card. I love a 12 p.m. start time. But I actually was talking all weekend and all week. It's only Monday, but all day I was talking up to my wife and saying, like, let's do something fun as a family this Saturday. Let's go. Let's find a water park. Let's go to Dave & Buster's. Let's go to swim class. Let's do something with our Saturday. And I'm realizing I'm building the day around the time of the fight, and I'm not going to be able to see any of it. But I think I'll talk to her. We'll be fine. If we go to Dave & Buster's, I'll be watching the fights. I'll get them on the big screens. So we'll see what happens. But very excited for this card. Man, we'll recap UFC 318, Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. I really could have had a much better night than I did. I'll let Alex talk about his night first, and then I'll kind of take you guys through what went wrong with me. They say greed is good. Kids, greed is not good, okay? I could have played it a little bit more responsibly, and in other nights, I have, and I've woken up the next day thinking that was so good of me to do. And this night I had that option, and I said, no. And I pushed it further. So we'll hear from Alex. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Great night of watching the fights. Max Holloway is my hero. Put away one of the most villainous people in this sport for good. Close fight. Very entertaining fight. I thought it was a lot closer than the judges did. But, going into them reading that decision, I was not 100% confident that Max Holloway won that fight. I thought they'd be cooking some jambalaya down there on the scorecards, and it would be some hometown cooking for Dustin in his final fight. Luke, what did you think about that? How did you think?
I definitely thought Max won, and I don't think it was even close enough to tip it one way or the other. But I think he clearly won. Really would love to see him finish Dustin when he dropped him. I really thought he was going to get it there. He had him wobbly. I didn't think we were going to see a 5-round fight at that point. Yeah, I'm glad we're done with this Dustin Poirier parade. I really am. If I never hear the name Dustin Poirier again, it'll be too soon. I didn't like any of it really.
I wasn't in love with the pageantry.
Yeah, the pageantry was a little boring and annoying. It's like, it was a fight that didn't really need to happen. Now that it did, we can move on. I don't know.
And I mean, Max Holloway is my good fight, but it was a great fight. Max Holloway is my favorite.
The Little Wayne thing was way overplayed. Little Wayne was a piece of furniture in there. He didn't do anything. I thought it was going to be like when he came out with Floyd Mayweather, when he was rapping next to him, a milli, and he's walking the whole thing. It kind of seemed like, he was just in his corner. Like, why?
Yeah, I mean, and also stop shoving Theo Vaughn down my throat. Please, for the love of God, I get it. He's there. He's at the fights. I don't need him coming up, talking to Chael, talking to DC, rubbing elbows with all the people, giving his analysis on the fights. Do not need any of that. Would prefer it not to happen.
Yeah. Theo Vaughn I don't mind as much. Glad they didn't have Jelly Roll there. But yeah, you didn't gamble on the card at all?
No.
You're still responsibly retired?
Still responsibly retired.
You had a really good set of predictions, especially going through the first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights on the card. You nailed all 6 in a row. You picked Prado, but I think by that point, even you would have been looking at it going like, hey, he's a slight underdog and no underdog's won yet. He might be the first and most likely to do it. Definitely seeing them warm up in the back made me lean Veretannikov for sure. And then, you picked Oliveira, Zellhuber, Vittori, Ige, Holland. You did pick Costa, and you did pick Max. So you could have definitely had a good night.
But I know for sure if I did gamble on this card, all ships would have been sunken on Kevin Holland for sure.
Talk through this comment real quick before we get into that. I'll be right back.
All right, throw it back up there. Funny how Zellhuber, Ige, Kopylov, and Holland all forgot how to throw a punch. I was kind of thinking the same thing. The Kevin Holland fight, I mean, he was throwing for sure, but like getting batted around by D-Rod like that, just absolutely terrible. I couldn't believe what I was seeing out of Kevin Holland. It was beyond my mind's wildest eye. I couldn't have seen Kevin Holland going to a 3-round war with D-Rod where he's getting flopped around on the canvas like a sack of potatoes over and over and over again. Like, yeah, he had some offense of his own. That fight was a war, very entertaining to watch, but watching it root for Holland, it was really brutal. It was really hard to watch rooting for Holland in that one because he's so much better than that. Don't really know what was going on. He didn't have the braids in. He kind of had like the crackhead look going on with the hair. And that made me nervous going right into it. He looks like the guy in your town who is throwing karate kicks outside of a bowling alley or something like that. He didn't look like a guy who knew how to actually fight. He looked like a character from the Boondocks going out there looking like he just smoked a bunch of crack. Then, you got Ige. What are you going to do? What are you going to do there? That's the Patricio Pitbull that, I thought I was going to see in his first fight in the UFC. And Yair Rodriguez has the biggest hole in his game possible, and Patricio Pitbull couldn't freaking show anybody that he knows how to do a double leg, but then he's going to go out there and start taking down Dan Ige. Didn't really love that. Who else did he say forgot how to punch? Roman Kopylov. I didn't really see that. I just saw Paulo Costa as an absolute Giga Chad, Super Sigma, walking through everything that Kopylov had to throw at him and hitting Kopylov with hard shots. Kopylov was scared after that second round when he got knocked down. He was not willing to engage with Paulo Costa as much, and Paulo Costa was a beast. So proud of Paulo Costa. I think he does deserve Khamzat Chimaev. Win or lose against DDP. He deserves that fight with Khamzat Chimaev. The most heat. I mean, you beat Roman Kopylov. You're right there for a title, in my opinion.
Okay, so a lot to unpack here. To me, the situation with Kopylov, he really didn't throw much for the first 2.5 minutes. And I was like, he's downloading. He's letting Costa get his bursts out. I thought the story was going to be that Costa hasn't fought in so long, was going to maybe get gassed a little bit. I really thought he was going to have success, look good, and then kind of get caught with something. Kopylov, he didn't look good when they were facing off. I was like, he's a stoic Russian, Luke. You got to just, go with it. But I was getting instincts like Costa's going to win. He's wearing a Paulo Costa shirt. But where the night went awry for me, okay. Off the bat, I bet Carly Giudice by knockout. $100 to win $450 back. So that represented 100 of $600 I'd bet that night. So I win the $450. So now, first fight of the night, I already won back $450 of my $611 output. So I'm like, worst case scenario, all my other bets failed tonight. I'm down less than $200. I also have Giudice by KO parlayed. I parlayed it with Bresky. If Bresky won, I win another $686 on top of that by the third fight of the night. By the third fight of the night, I am up $500, right? I also parlayed it with Vittori by knockout, and I parlayed it with Allen by knockout. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I had two $50 bets. two $50 two-leg parlays, 50 for 3,100 and 50 for 2,200. Judy's by KO, Vettori by KO, Judy's by KO, Allen by KO. So going into that fight, I'm like, as long as somebody gets knocked out, I win $2,000 or $3,000. Obviously that did not happen. So after the first fight, I was looking at all these outcomes like, man, I am really set up good here. Like I have so many good little stages at play. But it all kind of went to kaput after the Vettori fight. I picked, by that point I was kind of checked out, but I rebuilt a couple parlays. Ultimately, Kevin Holland was my downfall. My winning bets, I won on Judice by KO, and then I put 300 of that 450 that I won on Varatanikov. He won, but was making me sweat it for sure. So now I'm up to 630. So now I'm up $19 or so, right? I put 100 on Pitbull to hedge my EGA parlays. So I win 272 on Pitbull on a $100 bet. It's all there. I mean, it should have been a $500 night, but I kept going and lost it on Kopylov by KO, Max by KO, various parlays involving EGA, Holland, Holland by sub. I had a lot of other bets out there that didn't come to fruition. I really thought Holland was going to get that sub in the third round. So I was getting teased all night. Let's see. It's like I had Holland by sub. He almost had the sub, didn't get the sub, was completely gassed in that third round and hurt. He cracked Rodriguez. I mean, he did knock Rodriguez out. Rodriguez just didn't go out, but he hit him hard enough, and Rodriguez was outstanding and out functioning essentially, but he didn't even have the energy that choke at the end. I felt like the choke was a formality at that point because he had beaten up Rodriguez so bad by that point. I was like, Rodriguez is giving him this choke because he needs to get the hell out of here. No, that wasn't the case. Good for Rodriguez. What can I say?
Much like Brian Ortega, he once had a decision.
Yeah.
The streets or the cage, and he chose the cage.
Yeah.
Not before getting every tattoo ever.
But the Bresky fight I thought was pathetic. He should have definitely. You got to be a little bit more competent than that in there. And kind of same for Prachnio. I mean, both of these guys getting subbed out like that, not good. Dulatov is amazing. I bet him by knockout. I bet him by knockout in the first round. In parlays that did not end up hitting because of Vettori. Vettori and Zellhuber. I mean, Zellhuber, you kind of saw how that could play out that way. I mean, I thought
Michael Johnson, the man.
Yeah.
Wow. He was the star of the night. The fact that he got that done against Zellhuber, amazing. Chef's kiss. Couldn't believe he was out there whooping up on Zellhuber like that.
Yeah. So here's where I can kind of realize, like, I've still got it. I'm still good. Like, I still know what I'm doing here. The Judice knockout, great play. The McVeigh play, hey, that was just kind of like he was a huge underdog and, like, Frere shouldn't be this big of a favorite. But he looked like that big of a favorite. Bresky, he did not win. That's fine, whatever. Again, like, these aren't, like, hills I'm going to die on, right? But I knew Crute was gonna do well. Again, not a hill I'm blowing down. What I'm trying to get to here is Varatanikov. I really started to believe in him. Seeing them kind of like shadow boxing in the back. Michael Johnson, I picked him on the show. I mean, I really didn't think he was going to win. I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, I did, but pick him. But I was just as surprised with that. And then even like Kevin Holland, I was getting weird kind of vibes from Poirier. I was getting weird vibes from Kopylov. I pretty much knew he was going to lose. So my instincts are there, and I feel like I have a good read of the board. So that's why I'm excited to go into next weekend.
Beautiful.
Yeah, fell asleep on the last 4 fights. It was crazy to see that many underdogs in a row win. I think it started with Varatanikov. He was the first underdog. And then we got back to favorites with Oliveira and Allen. But then Johnson, Pitbull, Rodriguez, Costa. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 underdogs on the main card in a row after a favorite-heavy prelims. So
Yeah.
But I also was not really paying attention too much starting with the Vettori fight, honestly. I thought if I didn't pay attention to it, somebody would get knocked out.
If I see somebody's tested clean 50 times, that would lead me to bet the other way. I like a guy who is not getting tested much. Lucky.
Then he fell asleep.
I thought the fights were all entertaining. Sure, there wasn't any finishes for the last few fights of the night, but they were all super entertaining in my opinion. The fights, great night of fights. I mean, we got spoiled in the beginning with all. I mean, but that's kind of how you want the fight night to go. The guys that you like, you want to see fight longer, right? And then the guys you don't know, you want them in and out as quick as possible. I thought like it's kind of exactly what you would script on a card: 5-round drag 'em out war between Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. Take my money. Excuse me. And then Paulo Costa, I thought that fight was entertaining as well. Kevin Holland, that was a very entertaining. All of the fights were super entertaining and gave me exactly what I wanted. And you guys know I don't really like Kevin Holland, so I was happy to see him lose in a way. But it was just like one of these things where I felt like I still got mad because I felt like I was still gambling. I felt like it was another day at the office. Freaking Kevin Holland goes out there, spoils everything. That's exactly how it goes usually. So, I get the best of both worlds now. I get to see the guys that I want to lose, even though I picked them, and I am not monetarily tied to them.
Yeah, I hear you. It creates a weird dichotomy when you got money on the line. All right, let's get into next week's card. We got a 12-fight El Clasico offering starting at 12 p.m. noon. A couple fights were pulled. Asu Amabayev was supposed to fight Ramazan Temirov. Temirov withdrew. And Movsar Evloev was supposed to fight Aaron Pico in this card. A great fight that Evloev pulled out of. So first fight of the night is going to be a banger, guys. If this stays at the first fight of the night, we're in for a real treat. To open up the card, we got heavyweight Martin Budai 15-2 coming in.
Buddy?
Underdog against Marcus Buchecha, 5-1, has not fought in 8 months, hasn't put up 3 fights in 3 years. Marcus Buchecha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going with Martin Budai on this one. I think this is a very, very, very easy pick. Don't know why Marcus Buchecha is a favorite in this one, -200. If I was a gambling man, I would take Martin Budai. I would put a decent-sized chunk on it. Yeah, Buchecha, he's got the jiu-jitsu pedigree, but what do we know about these jiu-jitsu guys? They accept bottom position. And Martin Budai is a guy who, can take it down, can work from the top, can put some crazy ground and pound on you. I think he's probably going to elect to box, push Buchecha up against the cage, win a 3-round decision in classic Martin Budai fashion. But, you look at Martin Budai, he's only got 2 losses. Juan Espino, good heavyweight. And then who was the other guy he lost to?
Shamel Gaziev.
The Blob, Shamel Gaziev, very good fighter. So give me Martin Budai. I think he's going to steamroll Marcus Buchecha, and everybody's going to be sitting here like, we need, the same way they do it every time, we need to stop putting money on all of these Brazilians who do jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu is their thing, or any nationality for that matter. Gunnar Nelson, don't bet on him. Any guy who does jiu-jitsu, don't bet on them if jiu-jitsu is their thing.
Yeah, I'm going with Martin Budai as well. Just can't justify -200 on a guy who's not fought in the UFC, is 35 years old, and is a specialist. At the heavyweight division, it's very hard to get a takedown. I think Budai will make it hard for him. I think he'll be way better at striking, and Budai upsets Buchecha, first fight of the night. Yeah. Next, we got Mohamed Yahya versus Stephen Gwen. Muhammad Yahya, this guy, he's 0-2 in the UFC. I think he's the worst fighter in this division. I think he's one of the worst fighters the UFC signed. I mean, his fight with Trevor Peek was boring. His fight with Caio Fernandez, he just shit beat out of him. Wasn't even close. But Stephen Gwen, coming off a loss to Jarno Aarons, hasn't fought in a year and 3 months. Seems like they're really, really trying to get this Muhammad Yahya guy a win. I respect Fortis MMA. I'll tell you that much. Steven goes out here needing a win, wanting to impress. 2-1 on the Contender Series, gets his shot in the UFC, loses his debut. 2 wins in the Contender Series to get into the UFC, loses his debut. So I'm gonna go with Stephen Gwen.
Yeah, give me Stephen Guen as well. Just for exactly what Luke said, I think Muhammad Yahya is shite. I don't think he's very good. I think this is just like one of the hometown guys going out there to make the walk, do the job. But Stephen Guen is going to be able to get it done.
All right, next we got Ibo Aslan taking on Billy Elkaina. Billy Elkaina, you'll remember him in the fight with Bogdan Guskov. He really overperformed there.
Oh, he came out like a bat out of hell. It looked like he was going to walk his way into winning that fight against
he comes out like that against this guy. I think he has a lot more success because Ibo Aslan's going to stand on the feet with you. He lost to Ion Cutelaba in his last fight after, a few kind of startling knockouts, not against great competition, but, knocked out undefeated Rafael Sequeira, and then loses to Ion Cutelaba. I'm going Billy here. I saw enough to justify a plus 210 play on him. Something to prove. Yeah. Not short notice, so no reason to kind of have that cardio issue he had in that fight with Bogdan, but you can ask Bogdan. He's my veterinarian.
I'm gonna go with Billy as well. I think this is a good dog shot. I think Ibo Aslan is a little overrated. I think Billy is a little underrated. I think Billy is Bogdan the best dog bet the house now. Okay. I'm on Vude myself in this spot. Likewise, Dirty Greg.
Who's bottom? I don't know who's
Bogdan?
Yeah, Bogdan's not here. He's not fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Bogdan.
Oh, no, he is. He fights later in the night.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, but give me Billy for all the same reasons. I think he's got a ferocity. I think that the short notice was the reason he gassed out in that last fight, but he looked like he was about to put Bogdan away, and he fought against John Jones for the title once. So you gotta give credit where it's due to Billy.
Next we got Tabitha Ricci, Baby Shark, taking on Amanda Hebus. I'll keep this quick. I'm gonna go with Ricci. She definitely disappointed me in the fight with Jan. Didn't throw enough, didn't do enough. But I think Ribas is not Jan. Ribas' striking is herky-jerky, unorthodox, and downright sloppy. Her jiu-jitsu is not good enough to keep Amanda Mackenzie Dern off of her. So I see that Baby Shark dominating this fight. I don't know why she's an underdog, but give me Baby Shark. Plus 110. Sorry, guys. I had some sushi earlier, and it's just going nuts in my belly right now. It's like a flu game for me.
No problem. Give me Tabitha Ricci as well. I do worry about Tabitha Ricci. Sometimes we like to poke fun at jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, but you don't really love when a jiu-jitsu guy falls in love with the hands and starts fighting out of character, starts trying to go for the knockout. You saw it with Jacare Souza. You saw it with Frank Mir. Frank Mir was always kind of good on the feet, but, jiu-jitsu specialist type of guy. They fall in love with the hands and then end up getting into gunfights and knocked out in the future. Tabitha Ricci, Callum Walsh, they're an item. She might be taking too many private lessons. Who knows? I'm going to go with Tabitha Ricci. Hope that Mr. Walsh wasn't overreaching and trying to get into her game planning and into her training rooms. But give me Tabitha Ricci.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Dangerous Davy Grant taking on Damon Blackshear. What are your thoughts on this one?
Damon Blackshear all the way. Davy Grant, he can still get one over on a lot of guys. I don't think Damon Blackshear is a guy that Davy Grant can still get a win over.
You don't think? I mean, he is Dangerous Dave. Two guys with 7 losses. Dangerous Davy coming off that win 7 months ago to Ramon Tavares. Before that, split decision loss to the undefeated Daniel Marcos. Before that, finished wins. Our guy Damon Blackshear had those 2 losses, one against Mario Batista, then got knocked out by Montel Jackson. The Montel Jackson knockout a year ago feels like yesterday. And since then, he's choked out Cody Stamen, submitted Cody Gibson, and took Ali Alatang to a decision 2 months ago. I think this one's going to be won on the ground. I think Damon Blackshear can get it there. I want to see Damon get it there and win this fight on the ground. Submission or decision for Damon Blackshear. 9 years younger. That's the big thing for me here. 9 years younger at the 136-pound weight class. He's going to have a reach advantage and a height advantage. Give me Damon Blackshear.
Okay, next up we got Muslim Salikov versus Carlos Leo. I'm going to take the Kung Fu King here, the Kung Fu Panda, the king of Kung Fu, Muslim Salikov. I think Leo's dangerous. I think that there's definitely ways for him to win. But when you see Muslim Salikov throwing wheel kicks at the ripe age of, 45, 41 years old, 170 pounds against Kenan Song. Kenan Song, who almost knocked out Ian Gary. You got to give this guy his flowers. He might be old, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but this old dog has a couple tricks up his sleeve. Give me Muslim Salikov.
This will be the first fight we don't agree on. I'm going with Carlos Leo. He's a -400 favorite, 10 years younger, equal stats on the height and reach, but 170-pound weight class, 41 years old. Really thought he was going to lose to Kenan Song in his last fight. Didn't happen that way at all, but Leo's got a brick head. He's not going to get knocked out, and I think he actually puts Salikov away.
All right. Glad to hear we're differentiating in it. It's not
Leo beat the shit out of Alex Morono.
Yeah, he did. He did beat the shit out of Alex Morono.
Made that look fucking easy.
Next up, your brother and my brother, Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov. Now, Luke.
Brothers in Christ, let's be clear.
Now, did you see Bryce Mitchell talking about his interaction in Abu Dhabi already?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he came out of the shower?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great to hear. I'm happy. I don't know why they would – now, I know one reason why they might send Bryce to Abu Dhabi, but why are you going to send Bryce to Abu Dhabi? Sure, they might agree on some topics, but Bryce has a whole another set of opinions that they don't agree with at all. Okay, so
the time for Bryce Mitchell to end up in a Muslim country was when he was 17 and a half years old talking to a draft recruiter or a recruiter, a military recruiter at his high school. And that guy's telling him he's so impressed by how many pull-ups he can do and how many push-ups he can do. And he gets him into Afghanistan. That would have been the time, but that time is not now. Bryce Mitchell has no business in Abu Dhabi. Can you think about this? I'm not even open-minded enough to go to Abu Dhabi. And Bryce Mitchell is getting dragged to Abu Dhabi for 2 weeks. This is crazy. So yeah, I think Bryce has got steam coming out of his ears. I think that he needs to win. And I think he might win here. I'm not that impressed with Said Nurmagomedov. I don't really fucking have – he's got a guillotine, in my opinion. He's got a guillotine. I think
he's got a guillotine, and he is not one of these Dagestani guys who likes to wrestle. He is a kicking Dagestani guy when you're a kid, DC said on the Mighty Cast, he said the other day, he says, when you're a kid, they say, you're better at kicking, we send you to kick. You're better at wrestling, we send you to wrestle. This is a kicking guy. That's why not all these guys have everything. This is a kicking guy. This is not a wrestling guy. Bryce Mitchell's going to go in there. He's going to take him down. He's going to choke him out. And God forbid they give him a microphone. God forbid. Do not give that man a microphone over there. He might not make it home.
I'm looking at his 8 pullouts, and I'm up to 5 out of 8 with 2 to go that he pulled out of. And the other ones, he was fighting Russians. So no matter who pulled out, somebody did.
It's all bad.
So my point is, yeah, I mean, the only fight that his opponent pulled out and not him was against Daniel Willie Cat Santos. Other than that, Daniel Marcos, Nurmagomedov withdrew. Montel Jackson, Nurmagomedov withdrew. Kyler Phillips, Nurmagomedov withdrew. Jack Shore, Honey Baloney pulled out of both of them. So this guy's a pull-out merchant like all they are in Dagestan. I'm going with Bryce Mitchell to just put a boot in his ass because it's the American way.
These guys, they only fight if the moon's on the right phase. If
they have a great weight cut, no injuries, it's the proper time of the year, the solstice is aligned, and it's in one of their chosen countries, or we'll build one for them.
Mercury has to be in retrograde for a Dagestani man to fight. Fact.
Mercury, a very interesting element.
Planet.
What do you think next? We got Nikita Krug. Did you pick Bryce?
Yeah, I picked Bryce, brother. Come on.
Back on the same page here.
I have a feeling we're not going to be on the same page for this one, though. I have a slight feeling.
Take it away.
We got Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. Zarovich versus.
You can take it from Bogdan. He's my veterinarian. What's he doing with my teeth? Is he sending them to Australia?
The Viagra Boys, another hit classic. Another hit classic. I'm gonna go with Nikita Krylov in this one, the minor. I do not think that. I think he was doing really well against Dominic Reyes before he got caught. It happens. He's got a lot on his plate, or maybe nothing on his plate, depending on how the war is going at this point. I don't know. I haven't heard about Russia, Ukraine in quite some time. There are more pressing matters. Haven't you heard of the Gaza Strip? But yeah, I don't know how that war is going. But I'm going to go with Nikita Krylov. I think that he's a very, very talented fighter. You got to sprinkle that set front choke. Nah. Bryce about to do it for us Arkansans. Yes, sir.
He says his name's Dirty Reg. And I know in Arkansas, they don't smoke anything that don't stick to the wall, Chief. Ain't no Reggie down there in Nebraska or Arkansas.
All right. Well, there you go. That's how you know it. But yeah, I thought he was doing well against Dominic Reyes. Maybe it was a little ring rust. He hadn't fought in a year. Been quite some time since he had gotten in the cage. But Dominic Reyes is kind of resurging, so don't hate on that loss too much. Give me Nikita Krylov. He's going to go out there and whoop up on Bogdan Guskov. If Billy Electra is batting pillar to post, and the only reason you get him is because he's 3 days notice. I have to think Nikita Krylov is going to do a little better.
I do disagree. I'm going with Bogdan. Bogdan has done right by me. I like Bogdan. He's coming in as an underdog here against a guy who got knocked out 3 months ago. Maybe they're taking into account that Krylov does not have self-preservation instincts, and this will not affect him. But I think it will. I think Bogdan hits hard, is competent on the ground, and stays sharp in there. So against a guy who's reckless and wild like Krylov, I think Bogdan finds his openings and doesn't get clipped with anything. Give me Bogdan as an underdog.
Okay. Next up, we got Asu Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. Luke, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, and was Almabayev originally booked against Temirov? So much easier opponent, I think, taking on Ochoa, who lost.
Still an even line, though.
Yeah. Bless you. I'm gonna go with the much more experienced 31-year-old Almabayev. Actually, no, I don't know if I will. Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with Ochoa. You go with Ochoa here. I mean, yeah, I forgot how shitty Almabayev looked against Manel Kopp. I think Manel Kopp's great. I think the world of him, but he didn't bring anything to the table there. So I'm gonna take a shot on Ochoa. He's Peruvian. They have a great gas tank. He'll be okay, even though it's short notice.
Asu Almabayev fought.
Not really a fight I want to bet on, though, to be honest with you guys.
Asu Almabayev fought Manel Kopp on short notice because Brandon Royval got, I think, upgraded to a title shot or something like that. So, take that loss with a grain of salt. I'm going to go with Azu Almabayev, a lot more experienced, a lot more well-rounded. I think that he's going to take Ochoa down and win this fight. And I think that line is really good odds for Azu Almabayev. And maybe everybody is in Luke's boat where they're getting a lot of recency bias on that fight with Manel Kopp where he didn't do so well. But I think he's gonna come through and win this one.
Okay. Next, we got Sharab Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Interesting fight because Sharab Magomedov got kind of exposed, embarrassed.
This is record timing, by the way, for an ep.
Well, there's only two of us now, so it's easy to get through, especially when we agree. And we don't have to do it back and forth. We're like, yeah, I think the same thing. So coming off that loss to Michael Venom Page, he's supposed to be the striker guy. He's supposed to be the guy who is the better striker than anybody in there. And an older striker took him to school. Now he's going against Marc-Andre Barriault, who striking, you wouldn't say, he's the power bar, but if there were one thing you'd say about him, it wouldn't be that he's an amazing striker. It'd be that he's a well-rounded, competent, cardio, pace-pushing generalist. So I think Barriault has all the tools to win a fight against Magomedov. Not seeing why he's a plus 370 underdog. Maybe because his loss condition generally is getting knocked out. He gets knocked out when he loses. Just for the sake of picks, I'm going to go with Power Bar, but don't expect me to end up going to the betting window with it on too many things because it is Abu Dhabi. This is the only place this guy can fight. You would think that they would want to keep their business partners in Abu Dhabi happy with fighters they like winning. So give me Marc-Andre Barriault.
Yeah, I can see all the reasons that you're picking Marc-Andre Barriault here. I mean, a few months ago, I would have said the same thing. I would have said, Marc-Andre Barriault, he's gonna take him down.
You mean a few months ago when he was on a 3-fight losing streak, getting knocked out twice in a row, or
when I was addicted to gambling?
Gotcha. Yeah,
more specifically, I would have found a way.
He just fought in May and got a first-round knockout. Yeah, it was against Bruno Silva, but I mean,
yeah. But the thing is Marc-Andre Barriault on that 3-fight skid. I think he got knocked out for 2 of them, and both of them in the first round. I do think that Marc-Andre Barriault has a lot of strategic advantages here. I just think that his chin won't be able to handle the damage from Sharabullet. I think that he's got dense bones, thick skull. He's going to and here's just my Mystic Mac prediction here. Marc-Andre Barriault is pushing Sharab Magomedov against the cage. He hits him with some 12-6 elbows to the side of the head, knocks him completely unconscious. Marc-Andre Barriault folds to the mat. I see it. I see it happening. I can't go against it. I think Sharabullet knocks Marc-Andre Barriault out first round, second round in the latest.
All right, I'm gonna switch to share a bullet by knockout.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I do. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. 'Cause it's like, yeah, like if I was playing a video game and you picked share a bullet and I picked Marc Andre, I think I could win the game. I could find a way to win. But the damage that he may incur in there is, you're right. Like it could really. Share a bullet's got a lot of time to connect. You know.
He's got 15 minutes to knock him out. Where Marc-Andre Barriol, like, is he going to submit him when he gets him to the ground?
He's not going to submit him. No, I would see it being like Marc-Andre Barriol out voluming, pushing him up against the cage here and there, maybe getting a couple takedowns, but mostly just like out voluming him and not getting hit with his big shots. But that sounds crazy. He's going to get hit with his big shots.
I could see Marc-Andre Barriol head and arm choking him on the ground. I could see it. Marc-Andre Barriol kind of get. I can kind of see it. Him getting a head and arm choke. Share a bullet goes out. The ref can't tell because his eye isn't real.
Well, you already convinced me that Cher is going to win, so let's just stay there.
All right.
Take us through Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee from the fighting pride of Ireland, Marcus McGee.
I love Marcus McGee. I've been a Marcus McGee truther the entire way through. I thought that last fight against Jonathan Martinez was close, a little too close for comfort. Marcus McGee, I mean, in my mind's eye, he's got to be like a foot taller than Petr Yan, 7-inch longer reach, but he's here. He's only 1 inch taller, 2-inch reach advantage. Not really all that good. He's older against Petr Yan. You think about this fight, you think Marcus McGee's an up-and-coming kid. You know, you see Dana White calling him kid. You think he's like 22 years old. No, he's 35. He's a distinguished young man or gentleman, not even a young man. A distinguished gentleman at this age. He probably winds down with a cigar and a scotch like a real man. Petr Yan is the younger man in here. Very, very well rounded. There's not many fighters who can mix it up better than Petr Yan. The only thing you have to kind of worry about with Petr Yan is he's kind of conditioned for a 5-round fight. His style of fighting makes the most sense. Is the most effective when he can do it over a 5-round span because he likes to download data in there in the first round, and he can easily give up a round just by not throwing enough volume, and Marcus McGee can eke out that first round. But I have to think Petr Yan's going to end up coming away with it, especially after seeing Marcus McGee kind of struggle with Jonathan Martinez. I mean, I thought that fight was super close. I wasn't entirely convinced that Marcus McGee was walking out of there with his hand raised. And even some of these fights where he got the finish in, he had some adversity before that. If he runs into that adversity against Petr Yan's going to end up putting his lights out, finishing him, and going on to do what Petr Yan does. I got to go with the younger, too big of a step up. I agree, Sweet Pea Grable. I got to go with Yan in this spot. I agree, Dirty Reg. You got to go with Yan in this spot. It's not the sexiest pick. He's a minus 370, 400 favorite. But it's just what's going to happen. He's either going to knock out Marcus McGee or he's going to win by decision. Those are the only two options. I don't see him getting a submission in this fight. But Petr Yan will win this fight for sure. Way too big of a step up, but Marcus McGee is really talented.
Well, I'm going with Petr Yan as well, but I would love a better line. I mean, you're never going to get plus 285 on McGee like this. It's just like a shame he's fighting Yan. I would have loved to see it's like more of a pick'em. Because I do think McGee's very dangerous. But the leg kicks in the Martinez fight, Jan's going to throw great leg kicks. And he's got great little trip takedowns and stuff too. He can mix in. I just think Jan's more competent everywhere. McGee might have a swarming kind of onslaught, but I mean, nah. Like Yan is so slick. He gets in and out of the pocket well. He has great defense. I'm not worried about Yan in this one.
Not at all. Now, this next fight is a banger. I love this fight. I have a feeling we're going to defer an opinion on this as well. Luke, what do you think for Robert Whittaker versus Reinier de Ridder?
Well, it's giving me flashbacks of Robert Whittaker versus Ikram Aleskarov. So I was like, oh my God, a pick'em line with Aleskarov as a slight dog. He's going to go in there and knock Rob Whittaker out. This is going to be great. Didn't happen like that. Then against Hamzat, somebody I'm always, a believer in, I'm kind of like, he's going to beat Rob Whittaker. I bet on it, yeah. By finish, yeah. But I was kind of like, Whittaker could give him what for? I mean, Burns almost did. So for him to come out and do that so easily was interesting. It's only been 8 months since that happened, whereas RDR knocked out Bo Nickel 2 months ago. I'll just ask people this. What do you think before the RDR fight, what would you have, suggested a fight with all of Bo Nickel's hype and praise? What would you have suggested the line would be? Bo Nickel versus Robert Whittaker before he lost to RDR. I mean, every time Bo is a 12.
I mean, I would say like minus 500 Rob Whittaker.
No way. That's not what it would be.
Maybe not, but like that's what it should be lined at.
But with Bo's wrestling, we just saw what happened with Hamzat. He took him down with ease, right? So I'm just saying, like, it's interesting to think that Whittaker is a favorite against Reinier, but would probably have been an underdog against who Reinier just beat. Something to think about. I am scared of this pick because he didn't look good striking against GM3, and it gives me vibes of the Aliskarov fight. But I'm going RDR. I'm going RDR to just go in there and big brother him a little bit, be taller, be longer, be heavier, weighing on him, hanging on him, carrying his weight, getting him to the ground, being pesky with submissions and stuff. And on the feet, Rob Whittaker has not been the one who fought Yoel Romero in a long time. He's not a guy who you have to be super afraid of on the feet anymore. Yeah, he knocked out Aliskarov, but he decisioned Vittori. He decisioned with Costa. He's not the biggest confident puncher that he used to be.
Luke, your instincts are correct. And not that Reinier de Ridder is going to win, that this is the exact same situation as the Ikram Aleskarov fight. And Robert Whittaker is going to dispatch of Reinier de Ridder fairly quickly and easily. I believe. I think this is going to happen. Like you said, Reinier de Ridder left a lot to be desired on the feet against GM3. What does Robert Whittaker do to GM3? He knocks him out cold first round, simply and easily. Robert Whittaker whoops the shit out of Bo Nickel, too. Robert Whittaker, say what you want about that last finish against Hamzat. He's got bad teeth. The teeth broke. All the teeth broke. Whatever. Maybe a little jaw damage as well. You got to wonder.
I shouldn't eat it because all my teeth are gone.
Guys,
that's the third time I've referenced the same Viagra Boys song on this episode. If you can name the song in the chat before we sign off, you get bragging rights. You get nothing. I'm not even giving any prize. Jerome de Ridder. So
yeah, de Ridder has gotten better, and Alaskarov is just not that good. Okay. All I can ask Rob to do is weather the storm and get to round 4. I think Rob puts him away then. Yeah, I mean, de Ridder is big and dangerous for sure. I agree. I like de Ridder. I think de Ridder is a great fighter. I was very excited when he came over from one after, he won the double belt, challenged for a third belt, pretty crazy stuff. Fan of Reinier de Ridder. He hit a nasty inverted triangle in one before he came to the UFC. That's making its rounds on Instagram again. But Robert Whittaker is just too good. And yeah, you can be beaten up on all these guys at different weight classes in the B leagues, but Robert Whittaker's been a mainstay for the last 10 years. He's made a living off of getting guys to the belt or stopping them in their tracks for the last 5 of those years. And I think he's going to do the same here. The only thing you have to question is how much is Robert Whittaker's heart in it? Does Robert Whittaker think that he can get another title shot? I think he does. Now that DDP is in the mix, he has an opportunity to get the title shot. I think that he's more motivated than ever. I think that he's going to go out there and beat Reinier de Ridder.
And you know what I think too? Whoever wins this fight is they're going to win dominantly.
I agree.
This will not be a close fight.
Yeah.
It may be a back and forth fight, but the winner will be resolute. It will be Whittaker might drop the Ritter, and then DeRitter might drop Whittaker, and then somebody might end up finishing the other person after that happens. But I'm saying, like, it won't be a boring fight. It won't be a 5-round fight where you go, I don't know. It really might come down to these last. It's going to be resolute and dominant, and it's going to leave people going one of two directions. Reinier DeRitter is the fucking truth, fast track to title shot, or Robert Whittaker is back, baby.
Why do you keep adding a D in there? Robert
De Whittaker. Robert D. Whittaker. I need to get people to call him Robert D. Whittaker, and I need people to start saying Jerome DeRitter.
Jerome.
You don't need to know why. Just call him Jerome DeRitter and say it in all the chats that you're in a part of. Just always be like, ooh, Jerome DeRitter. Like people call Max Holloway Jerome Max Holloway. You know what I mean? Call him Jerome DeRitter and just keep saying it, and then eventually it'll just become his nickname, and I'll be the only one who knows why.
There you go. That'd be something.
All right, should we run through the full picks top to bottom? But that makes sense what I said, right? I mean, I think it'll either be.
Did you see?
He's just like Costa. He's just like Volk. He's just like Michael Johnson. He's just like all these guys, you know.
Exactly. Did you see that Shab and Renato Moicano going bad on each other?
Who?
Shab and Moicano.
Shab is such a dummy, dude. Like, he's like, it's like, Shab, a lawyer explained to you over the phone how all this worked. And he goes into every conversation like, these guys just don't know. The money's already set aside. And like, if you take it or not, it's going to go. It's not like it goes back to the UFC. Like, yeah, we know. We all know how a class action. We all actually knew how a class action lawsuit worked before even hearing about this. We've all known.
Yeah, we've watched a commercial.
We've seen a fucking commercial. Like, yeah, dude, we understand like why you think it's dumb because you're a whore.
You got to scoop up the bag.
Did you see this stuff about him with the CBD company?
Yes, hilarious.
Oh, it's all hilarious. I mean,
it couldn't have happened to a better guy. You know, I hate seeing my boy down like that. And Renato Moicano versus
Shop's like, let me find the most beloved UFC people and oppose them. Nate Diaz, Renato Moicano. Like, he's like, anybody have any takes that everybody that I can disagree with and make everybody more mad at me? If you were doing it on purpose, it would be genius.
Let me find the most disgraced people in the sport and outside of the sport and align myself with them. Callan, Tim Kennedy, Mayhem Miller. Fucking, what's next? War Machine's going to be the third chair on fucking Fighter and the Kid?
Yeah. It's like, I think it's like, yeah, what guest? They could get like Kash Patel now, the FBI director with Epstein. It's like now they decide like to do what everybody else was doing and get political people on. Like they were all doing that already. And now that it's like not popular to do, they're like, let's get Tulsi back in the chair.
I mean, nothing's funnier than all these podcasters that had the big man on, like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I didn't mean to endorse this or give them a platform. What the fuck is going on
here?
What's
interesting about these podcasting comedians, as they all adopt the same model and listen to each other and do the little like circle of podcasts where they all go on each other's and stuff, and they're all one big happy family. What they're not understanding is that they're just turning the advantage they had into the same form of consolidation that existed prior. So like before,
Richard,
you could find like a Greg Fitzsimmons and find his podcast and be like, I like this guy. And you would stick with him because like you weren't being presented with alternatives all the time. But now every single day he's showing you another guy and letting them interview to be your next podcast on his podcast. And if you like them more, then you're going to jump ship and go to their podcast. And so now you're seeing, like, whereas everybody had this abundance, it's all consolidating to Matt and Shane, consolidating to Theo, consolidating to, for a little while, Schultz. So it's like these consolidation pockets.
The greatest fucking night of your life.
And then you got,
how could you forget that?
yeah, Tony. But then within these pockets, they try to like do the same little ecosystem harvesting, but it's not taking anymore because why? The water well is running dry. There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many people in the country that are going to see your shit. You know what I mean? There's only so many. And it's like, well, no. We're making all of comedy.
And more importantly, there's only so many stories that you have. How many times, how many experiences have you had in your life that you can keep coming up with stories? And all of you guys are so fucking hack now because you all talk about the same thing because all you do is the same thing. You all go on podcasts. You all go on tour. You all hate airplay and food. Get the fuck out of here. You're lame.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like they would say, oh, but we're making all of comedy bigger. So now there's more fans of comedy. So now there is the ability for there to be. So you would think that would facilitate like a comedian's middle class, right? Kind of like how they have in the UFC. Not really, though, because what happens is people become big fans of comedy, and then they go to the biggest guy that they're a fan of once a year. You know what I mean? They don't make a habit of going to every time a comedian comes to the local comedy club. Like they go, cool, I like Theo Vaughn, I like Shane Gillis. That's enough. That's enough.
When Lena Dunham comes to town, that's all I'm seeing. I'm not seeing anyone else.
LD.
Not Larry David. Step aside, Larry David. There's a new LD in town. Shout out to all the comedians. Only 250 of the most fucking murderous people you've ever met. Call medians. Y'all guys in chat is very sharp.
We're sharp, baby. Sharp as an Arkansas arrowhead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jokes aren't as funny the second time. I agree.
With jokes.
And can you imagine?
Any jokes, yeah.
Can you imagine doing the same jokes every day, 365 days a year, just to finally make them perfect?
They better be damn good.
They better be fucking good.
I forget how we got on this topic, but it was the Shab situation. Yeah, that was what it was. Yeah, Shab. But yeah, he should just like do more terrible takes. You know.
I think
I say that. I don't have to actually say that. He will. Like,
I unironically think Brendan Schaub is the greatest content creator of our generation.
And how it's like, yeah, and it's like how much I'm to the point where I'm like, how much more do I need to be entertained? You know what I mean? Like,
the time for entertainment's over. We're about to buckle down. We're about to get serious. This whole podcast audience is about to get real serious, real dark, real fast. And, you know, we will mobilize, and we will need support and love, and we will need you guys to march upon our enemies peacefully.
I honestly don't even know who those people are.
No marching and definitely no enemies. We will be moving forward into this weekend with the same goal as we have every weekend to absolutely crush all the bets, win a ton of money. And I think I know just how I'm going to do it. So keep an eye out for that open bet sheet. I'm going to be posting some open bets in there. With what money, I don't know, because I gave it all away to my family first, then lost the rest to the casinos. So we will do it. We'll find a way.
We'll do it. We got to run through our picks. I don't think we did it yet. Rolling with me. You ready?
Yeah.
Robert Whittaker, Peter Yan, Shara Bullet, Azu Amabayev, Nikita Krylov, Bryce Mitchell, Muslim Salikov, Damon Blackshear, Tabitha Ricci, Billy Elkanah. Stephen Guin and Martin Bude.
Shout out to Carly Judice. I just want to say Carly Judice is the shit. Killer. Beats the shit out of girls. My favorite female fighter right now.
Beautiful.
If you're going with me, you're going with Reinier de Ritter, Piotr Jan, Magomedov, Jose Ochoa, Bogdan Guskov, Bryce Mitchell, Carlos Leal, Damon Blackshear, Tabitha Ricci, Billy Elkanah, Stephen Gwen, and Martin Budai. The double P certified picks: Budai, Stephen Gwen, Billy Elkanah, Tabitha Ricci, Damon Blackshear, Bryce Mitchell, Shara Bullet Magomedov, Piotr Jan. 6, 7, 8 triple P certified picks for you guys. Complete alignment through every prelim fight except for Carlos Leal versus Muslim Salikov. I like this new Alex. I like how he's seeing the board. I like how he's seeing the board unattached to gambling outcomes, except for the main event pick. I think you're wrong there, but we'll get there. Thanks all for joining the show. Pray for Dan. We're making progress. We're getting him back in the mix.
Dan is in open negotiations with our people to come back to the show. Massive contract.
He's in open negotiations. So we'll see. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys next Monday. We got a long stretch of fights coming up, so don't go nowhere.